Louisville.
Anna DeBeer, the reigning ACC Player of the Year. Serves it across, and the Irish open up with the first point, just like they did on Wednesday.
Like you mentioned, Jake, Anna DeBeer, the outside hitter, grad student from Louisville, leader in kills, second in aces. She can attack you from all over, and that makes it so hard to predict what she's going to do if you're the Fighting Irish defense.
And getting her off the service line is huge there, Will. And quickly, Notre Dame is able to capitalize, and they're up 2-0.
The story of tonight's Irish effort is really going to be how do they compensate for the lack of Morgan Gardy. She has been a big presence in the middle, and as of late, they've turned to her and almost her alone.
Sydney Palazzolo has felt quiet over this 7-game losing streak Notre Dame is on. It's going to be who's going to respond for it. Miscommunication from Notre Dame gives Louisville their first point to send their libero in Elena Scott and one of their captains to the service line. Preseason All-ACC honoree, and she has been fabulous in the different colored jersey.
Absolutely. Coach Rockwell mentioned that they're a very good serving team, and Scott is a big piece of the puzzle there.
Flat-footed attack from Palazzolo, and the Irish goes out of bounds to tie it at 2. Scott's able to stay on the service line. Last year's ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Straight behind the back set, that's pushed for Trump, and just goes too far.
Yeah, 1.2 aces per set from this Louisville team. Scott and DeBeer, the two leaders, 23 service aces for Scott.
Starter to Langer. Great dig by Dockery. Palazzolo tries to sneak it by the block. Trader tried to dump it off herself. Sets the middle of Langer, but it's rejected at the net.
So you see they turn to Langer there. That's going to be the question. Who's going to fill that spot in the middle? Some nice perseverance by the Irish on this point. Coach Rockwell mentioned that consistency, sticking with those long points against a team that's going to be unrelenting like Louisville. But there was that blocking that we'll see a lot more from Louisville tonight.
Lucy Trump tools the block well off of Sherman to get Notre Dame there. Point and back to the service line. Lucy Trump, the opposite hitter, had 4 kills on Wednesday. And right there gets a service ace. And it's a 4-4 tie.
Coach has talked a lot about the consistency of this serving core on the Irish team, and this is an example. You're going to get contributions from all over. Palazzolo, Schrader, and Trump. A lot of options.
And Schrader from the middle, able to send one past DeBeer looking to pancake, couldn't get there.
Schrader, Palazzolo, 2 players that we're going to need to see a lot of if the Irish want to put up a good fight.
Misplay there, kept alive. But once more, it's a service ace for Lucy Trump. 2 already on the contest, and now Notre Dame on a 4-0 scoring run. And it's a service error this time from Trump, trying to push it too far past with pace. Now Louisville has the opportunity get back on the offensive attack, set their pace. So far, very reminiscent of what we saw on Wednesday between the two squads. Very back and forth. It's that first time out that really separated Louisville from Notre Dame for the rest of the match.
Yeah, set number 1, Louisville had to call a timeout after the Fighting Irish came out hot. They're trying to replicate it, and Notre Dame's going to have to put together multiple of these long service runs if they want to make something more of this match today.
What a swing by the Cardinals. Just a great play by Looper. He's able to get into the Southland Kill Club for the Cardinals.
Yeah, a huge long-term contributor for the Cardinals, added to the watch list for the AVCA Player of the Year as well.
On a point there, and Danny Busboom Kelly quick to the green card, and it'll be a challenge. A little bit of miscommunication there from Patricia Salvatore, the upper official, with Terry Miller, referee 2 for the contest. And they want to check to see if it was on the court or whether it was out of bounds.
The play as it stands is a kill by Palazzolo with the Elisant assist. Taking a look at it now, the back set over to Palazzolo.
Does it hit the line? Ooh, I think it does. This should go the other way to give Looper. Go. It hits the chalk there. That
looks like it did. Awfully close, and maybe even a question of whether it brushed the back of Palazzolo on the way down as well. Probably the primary concern they're looking at is whether it hit the line. But maybe a couple things they're looking at, and here's the call.
And Terry Miller quickly off the monitor. And it'll stay with Notre Dame.
We saw it was close.
This is what happens when we speculate.
We got it wrong from here. Won't be the first time.
Won't be the last.
It won't be the last, rather.
Oh, boy. Well, you can't pigeonhole yourself with Salema Rockwell looking not to pigeonhole their attack, trying to get it from everybody today. Palazzolo, one of the best servers for the Fighting Irish, serves it across. A back row attack from De Beer. Has the middle, and Sherman being able to set it down.
We've seen them go to Grace Langer a couple times in the middle. Ellis Sants really looking out for her, so that void to be filled in the middle, and so far they've done it from the front row, and they're aiming for the middle.
Monson passes to Palazzolo, and it goes high and wide. Charity Looper back to serve. One of the 3 captains for this Cardinals squad. Father Curtis is the running back coach for the Missouri Tigers. Sant tracks it down. Point that goes Louisville's way. Just going out of bounds, tad too much.
Well, working around this Louisville blocking is such a key part of this effort tonight. 3.1 blocks per set, nation leading, Jake. And so far the Irish trying a few different things to get around it.
De Beer with a strong swing.
You'll see the left side get set up here for De Beer. Oh.
Sant up against the net. Sant tries to dump it across. And a free ball over the middle. Maldonado Diaz takes full advantage of. And it'll be a timeout for Salema Rockwell. Louisville on a 4-0 Purcell Pavilion. Cardinals on a 5-0 scoring run. They've been playing really good. Once they tied 7-7, found themselves with back-to-back kills and build that momentum since.
They got back in the groove. Notre Dame has had a tough time getting back in the system. A couple kind of disastrous free balls we saw. And it's really going to be a story about how much Notre Dame can keep themselves in system against attacks that are going to put them in rough spots.
Sant sets behind to Schrader, and off the timeout, it proves beneficial for Notre Dame to get them a point and send Hattie Monson to serve.
Schrader, the kill leader for the Fighting Irish. They're going to need some production out of her and consistently throughout this match.
Hanging serve from Monson. That gives Notre Dame the point after the attacking error.
Louisville was asking for maybe a deflection call there. And we might be looking at this one.
And Danny Busboom-Kelly could be using already a second challenge today, which would put her out of challenges for the remainder of the match here in set one.
Yeah, that first one on this near side was unsuccessful, and we'll take a look at that one. Multiple Louisville players were signaling with their fingers to the referee, indicating that they do think it was tipped or deflected. Maybe not, maybe at the line here, or maybe at the net, but possibly even after.
What you're looking for is whether the ball changes in rotation and whether you see the fingers bounce back like we do there. It's gonna be tight here. That's what you want to look for, is seeing if there's a change in the rotation of the ball. As Terry Miller's now off the monitor and will make a call. And it will be a deflection off of Notre Dame here in Bjork. Zoomed in look. And with the successful challenge, Danny Busboom-Kelly and the Louisville Cardinals keep a challenge for the remainder of the match.
Yeah, very aggressive early on, especially after losing the first challenge. Pulling the trigger once again. Maybe a move of confidence from this Louisville team.
Confidence from the serve there. Schrand, the sophomore, serves across. Set to Schrader. Goes out of bounds.
We've seen Notre Dame turn to Schrader a couple times in a row here. Grace Langer got the bulk of those first couple opportunities, but from the right side to the middle, that's where we've seen Schrader hanging out.
Sant. Sant attacks the back row with Palazzolo. Palazzolo tried to get a forearm on it. Once more, it's De Beer. Puts together such a great swing.
Yeah, De Beer, she'll attack from all over and really anywhere in that rotation. You have to have her in your mind.
Beer blocked at the net. Block that goes out of bounds from the Irish. It's the Cardinals a point. Now they're up 8 over Notre Dame here in set one. It'll be another timeout from Coach Rockwell. She'll lose her 2 timeouts early in this one, still with 9 points left to be played for Louisville to try and capture set one. Wants to talk things over with her squad.
Yeah, perhaps seeing set number 1 as that opportunity to make that strong first impression. Staying in this one is important. Maybe not letting this get out of hand is drawing these first 2 timeouts.
Slimmer Rockwell in her 3rd year at the helm of this Fighting Irish squad. Longtime assistant at Penn State, national champion at Texas as well. And really, since coming in, has looked to build her program. Started strong this year, best start since 2020, going 6-1. Really trying to build upon that so far in her young tenure.
Yeah, kind of a mix of everything making up this Notre Dame roster for Rockwell. Fiona Schrader, Sydney Palazzolo, 2 kind of more experienced pieces, but then you've got Morgan Gardy, you've got Anna Bjork, some promising young ones who they're trying to build around, and a good mix of culture, a good mix of experience and new faces. And the pieces do seem to be there for the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, the pieces are most definitely there for Danny Busboom-Kelly in her 8th year leading the Cardinals. One of the best coaches in all of women's volleyball.
They've been making deep playoff runs for each of the last few seasons. 2021, that undefeated regular season. 3-time ACC Coach of the Year. And really, she's built something special at Louisville.
Right now, her squad sits as the number 4th ranked team in the country, and it's extremely pivotal to be in that top 4, because then you're able to host all the way into the quarterfinals, since there's only a neutral site destination for the Final 4.
Yeah, in the last couple weeks, we saw that top 16 be released. Louisville, big news, found themselves in the number 4 slot. And you see them also ranked number 4 in the AVCO rankings that you see here. And really, they've are trying to build upon a tough ACC schedule. And they've been effective so far.
They've been effective so far today and got themselves in a firm lead. Ronaldo Diaz serves across. Quick push over from Cabello. That sends Notre Dame all out of sorts.
Yeah, really just Notre Dame not getting in system there. You saw Monson on the ground, a little bit of a miscue on the pass, and one thing led to another for that Louisville point.
Service error that gives the Irish a point. Now Kaylee Dockery comes in. It's going to be the duo of Dockery and Radiff playing in the assumed role of Morgan Gardy, who we talked about in the open, unavailable today for Notre Dame.
Yeah, Dockery, the junior, Mia Radiff, pretty minimal experience thus far, the freshman from Menlo Park, California.
On the slide, great swing from Kara Cressy. Tool it off the block and get the kill.
Yeah, Cressy far and away the blocking leader, really good on defense, but we see a little offense from here on the right side now.
Cressy, second in the ACC, 4th in Division I at blocks per set, averaging just a little bit over 1.5.
Go, Irish.
Trump up against the net.
Go, Irish.
Change of speeds in the middle.
Come on.
Johnson will just get it across. Great push that Louisville's able to keep alive.
Come on. Here we go.
Robbins tried to sneak it in an open back corner. Goes long.
Good rally for the Irish there. We've seen them turn a little bit more to that drop shot, a little more finesse than power. And, you know, Gardy probably was that power, that big arm, but a little bit of a different approach. And they've had to get kind of crafty here in set number 1, seeing how they're going to fill that void.
Big block at the net that Louisville's able to contain. Joust at the net. Looper with a backcourt swing and kill.
One of the best outside hitters this Louisville team has to offer. You see her there. She'll attack from those sides especially. Last year she had transferred in from UCLA and earned a starting spot last season.
Looper again. Schrader couldn't get her platform under it. Cardinals 4 points away from a dominating set 1 victory. Irish was hanging around, going point for point through the first 7 for each side, and since then it's been all Louisville. Looper once more changes speed. Looper has it rejected, goes out of bounds. Notre Dame was looking for the tip. It's not called. Cardinals really leaning on Looper right now. 4 kills on the day. Scott serves it across. Schrader Tried to dig it out. And now Mallory Bull, the freshman middle blocker, will sub in.
You've got those three freshman middle blockers, Morgan Gardy, Anna Bjork, and Mallory Bull here coming in. So the Irish probably will see a little more mix and matching here.
Bull pushes it over, and Bull touches the core and gets a point to end a 4-0 scoring run for the Cardinals.
Nice little drop shot there. Mallory Bull, 6'3", but there was just a little bit of finesse, maybe catching that front line for Louisville a little off guard.
Palazzolo mistimes it. And now the Cardinals stand at set point here. And it has been dominating. Cardinals have sucked every ounce of life out of Purcell Pavilion so far. And the Cardinals, what'll happen here in set 2. Looper wants to continue on. What a laser beam.
We saw plenty of her in set number 1. And this time from the other side. A strong force on the attack for the Cardinals.
Trump's able to use the deflection to her advantage. Now Lucy Trump serves, one of the best servers. Rockwell told us earlier this week they're trying to target Looper as she does there. Trying to take Scott out of the digging aspect and receiving. Make her pass. It's a miscommunication from the Irish at the net. Give Louisville their second point.
Well, Jake, just so much to go up against there. You see Hannah Sherman up front going up against, it was Mia Radiff. And, you know, maybe we can look to see Radiff get acclimated to this environment, get acclimated to this Louisville front line as set number 2 goes on.
Thackeray has a receiving error. And Looper now to serve. Looper today, 4 kills with a service ace. Have a service error this time, though. Now Sydney Palazzolo looking to try create some momentum. Off the block, Sherman's able to use it.
Sherman 1.13 kills per set, so she factors in pretty consistently to this Louisville offense. And quickly the ball is taken out of the hands of Notre Dame's top server in Palazzolo.
To Schrader, and off the deflection, Schrader's able to use it. Allie Monson, one of the 2 captains for Notre Dame. De Beer. Radiff through the block. Bayou tracks it down. And what a block, a rejection at the net by Cressy.
Not much there. You see Ella Sant here trying to get Anna Bjork set up over the middle. Really not much you can do other than try to attack from a different angle, as that entire middle section pretty much just erased by this Louisville front line.
Cressy, the Fort Wayne, Indiana native. Cressy once more.
You saw Elena Scott about midway through that point with a nice save, really getting in system for Louisville and launching some great attacks seemingly on every time.
Schrader tools the block. Sends herself to the service line. Schrader leads the ACC in second nationally in triple doubles, has 8 on the year. Felt like early on in the non-conference slate for Notre Dame, she was a triple double machine. Somewhat quieted out so far on this 7-game losing stretch on being within that contention. However, on Wednesday, had 7 kills, 10 assists, 8 digs. Always flirting with the numbers. It's just trying to get over that hump to pull out a triple double.
Yeah, like you said, she really does it all.
Bjork there looking to enter the conversation and gets a big kill from the middle position.
Not a lot of success thus far for the Irish in terms of power from the middle, but there they were able to get in system well enough where they could find a gap in the Louisville front line.
Big block once more from Cressy and Robbins. The duo showing why the Cardinals are the best in the nation in blocks per set.
Yeah, coming in 64 blocks Robbins this season. So not just one person you got to look out for on the Louisville front line. And that's been the story tonight.
Sherman sets for herself. And Robbins. Cressy now back to serve, the communications major. She serves it into the net. And Notre Dame within 3 for Anna Bjork to serve. Leads the team in hitting percentage with .321. Bjork does as a freshman. Loper, oh my!
So much power from the senior outside hitter. A key part of the Louisville offense tonight. And just hard to do anything with that, Jake.
Radar gun needs to be tracked on that. Loper. What a swing. Attacking error from the Irish. Sends Cabello to serve, the freshman center. Danny Busboom Kelly's 6'2" she's running. They are committed to it. They have run a 6'2" all year long. Like trying to find themselves with Glock and Cabello on finding that rhythm between the two, but they have run a 6'2" since August and are running it here in November.
Well, yeah, and they came in with a lot of pieces, a lot of experience to build that 6'2" around. Cabello is the only freshman starter. They returned 6 of the 7 from a very successful season last year. So quite familiar with that 6'2" rotation.
Cabello, sister Naomi, played at Texas, transferred to NC State. Those two met up last weekend when Louisville was able to host them. Schrader tried to sneak it by the antenna. Has it go out of bounds instead.
Coach Rockwell mentioned kind of how to formulate these attacks, and aiming for these setters is going to be a lot better, but you know, when you're just trying to find an open spot in the net, it's that's step number 1 we found.
Yeah, step number one will be talked about here in this timeout that Salema Rockwell took to try and talk about it. It's a Louisville Cardinal lead here, 13-7 in set two. The Louisville Cardinals have put together a schedule to place themselves within the top of the nation. They have one of the toughest schedules in the entire country, the third toughest, according to the AVCA. They have 11 top 25 opponents on their schedule so far. They are 8-3, and they got a big weekend to close out the ACC as they'll take on Pitt and Stanford back-to-back to finish the ACC regular season. It's gonna be a tough one there for Louisville. It's gonna be one of those big litmus tests to see how much they've improved throughout the year. They've improved throughout this contest with another big kill there. They already lost to Pitt once. Back in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, going down in 5 sets. So now can they take advantage of it later in the year, be able to hold their own?
Yeah, number one in those RPI rankings in terms of strength of schedule, certainly something that bodes well if you have a good record at the end of the year. They've seen Stanford, they've seen Georgia Tech, and it's later on in ACC play, that final week, it doesn't get much easier.
Irish off the timeout once again, proves to be successful to get a point. So how can they rally them together? The rally's gonna be shut down quick by DeBeer. And DeBeer, the graduate student, has 5 kills today. He's been involved everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. DeBeer, leader in kills, second in aces, came in 240 kills, so quite a bit. And a grad student, so she's been a part of this Louisville program for a lot of recent success.
Notre Dame gets another point here. Hattie Monson now serves. Graduate student libero.
We mentioned in the open, Notre Dame took a set versus Pitt, and it was kind of this validation that yes, they can play with outstanding teams like Pitt and Louisville, but it's just a matter of playing like this for extended periods of time, and it's hard to do against a team that's going to give you no breaks like Louisville.
Coach Rockwell touched upon it earlier this week to us when we sat down with her. Understanding, have to play at a high level for longer. We can play at it. It's just a question of can we sustain it for full 5 sets, 4 sets, or 3 sets, whatever is necessary to get the job done. And they're playing at a high level right now, capitalizing on mistakes that the Cardinals are making. They're within 5 now.
Yeah, Louisville getting in system there. You saw they went to Anna DeBeer just a little too far on the cross-court attack.
Sant to Schrader, and it's pushed through the block.
Some really good passing there that really enabled that earlier on. A strong attack from Louisville's right side. Could have been a little more catastrophic, but Notre Dame managing to get in system.
Radiff off the top of the block. As Maldonado Diaz go long, and don't look now, Fighting Irish starting to gain momentum.
4-0 scoring run coming out of that timeout.
And Danny Busboom Kelly's gonna take a timeout to talk things over with her squad. It's a 5-0 scoring run for Notre Dame. They are figuring it out after that first timeout.
Well, we talked about attacking the right people on Louisville's side. When they start with a pass from the libero, they function a lot better. So looking at getting those attacks to the right places, but also just, they're gonna get attacks, they're gonna land them, and it's about those good passes, getting in system. And I think what we've seen in the last few points is just the passing on Notre Dame's side. They've managed to get in system and then kind of putting the pressure back on Louisville. We've seen some attack errors, and you know, it's put Notre Dame right back in set number 2.
And for this Notre Dame Fighting Irish team, they find themselves on the bottom half.
3 consecutive losses, SMU, Pitt, Louisville, all on the road. And, you know, it doesn't get coming back home. It wasn't exactly a nice welcome having Louisville follow you home. But, you know, like you said, Jake, it could look up if they can kind of get back in this consistency, get players like, you know, Palazzolo and Schrader back in their groove. Things could, the picture could be a little prettier than it is now in a couple weeks.
For Louisville, trying to hold on. York sends it long. And the Cardinals with Glock to the service line. Not the biology major. Schrader changes speed. Now DeBeer has it rejected by Bjork.
Anna Bjork filling that void. We saw Gardy, a big presence in the middle, big presence on the block. And Notre Dame's been pretty quiet on the blocking front tonight. And finally, we see the freshman middle blocker, Anna Bjork, getting in on that.
Service error that time to give DeBeer back the serve, and already Notre Dame has scored more points here in set 2. So they only scored 12 in set 1.
Well, this is what we talk about against a team like Louisville. You're going to have scoring runs, but you're going to have runs like this. And trying to put an end to these, trying not to get caught up in a little run that Louisville puts together is really going to be your only way to take a set from a team like Louisville.
Palazzolo from the back row. Can't get it across Palazzolo to dig it out. And it will be a timeout for Salima Rockwell. Wants to settle her team down after Louisville is able to once more put together a 3-0 scoring run.
They've played a hands, when you're already a little short-handed yourself, you know, you need multiple players on your end to step up in big ways.
For Louisville, they've had all the right players in the right moments to push the right buttons, and now DeBeer. Free ball over the middle, can't do that. Looper will take full advantage of it.
Yeah, it was a serve sent right at Hattie Monson, the Notre Dame libero. Just not much you can do there if you pass it up too far.
Palazzolo passes across. In system set. Gets it to Robbins. Looper is able to loft it across the net. Do a really good job of finding an opening. The Cardinals 2 points away from closing out this second set. DeBeer ejected at the tape, and it will be a point for Notre Dame. Kaylee Dockery comes on to the floor now to serve. Monson goes laying out for it. Can't get there in time, and Louisville stands at set point here.
Yeah, we saw really after that timeout Notre Dame struggling to get in system. Some good serves, putting Notre Dame in some rough spots, and against a team where you have to be kind of perfect on the attack It's hard when those first passes aren't effective.
Gap comes off the bench to serve. Palazzolo with a big kill to elongate this second set.
Her 4th kill of the night. Pretty quiet from a player that, you know, Notre Dame needs to see a lot of to stay in this one.
Clock chases it down. Looper gets it across the net. Just Sherman puts an exclamation mark up last weekend.
Yeah, all ACC second team last year. She came into this season figuring to be a big part, and yes, she is. But yeah, what we've seen those last 6 games, when she's not on, this Irish team isn't on. Of course, a 7-game losing streak they're coming in with. And one of your key pieces, having that poor of a past 6 games, it'll add to that.
I'll add to it. Tried to go through Palazzolo off that first point, but Louisville's able to play strong defense and turn it around for a point themselves. And it's a service ace this time for the Cardinals, who start quick. And it's with the service ace. Manitsis comes onto the floor for the first time.
Yeah, Coach Rockwell mentioned we'd see a little bit more of her. She's been passing pretty well. As we see, she gets it again. They've targeted her when she's come in, but Coach Rockwell says we'll see more of that, especially on that defensive part of the rotation.
Palazzolo flat-footed. Tacks into the net. Schrader dumps it across. Loper. Palazzolo has it sent back. Robbins tries to keep it alive, uses her foot. Glock tried to go chase it down, and Notre Dame picks up their first point of this third set.
Nice save by Monson about halfway through that point. And some scrappy points to start set number 3.
Bjork now to serve. And Cressy works through the block and does a great job of how she is so much power up at the net to work through whatever block she's faced against.
Yeah, Notre Dame putting up Mia Radif up there. But really, yeah, it comes down to Louisville. And whoever you have up there, yeah, you have the void with Gardy, but it's a powerful attack. And using players that are going to be taller than most.
Trump, flat-footed, sends it into the net. And Coach Rockwell does not like what she's seen coming out of the intermission. She's going to take a timeout quickly. It's the Cardinals up 5 over the Fighting Irish early here in the third set. The Cardinals trying to get back on the bus to send home.
The $6 meal deal is here. It starts with Duncan's Legend.
1-1, and then at opponent hitting percentage, they're 8th in the country at 1.49.
Yeah, that nation-leading blocks per set paints a really good picture, and you know, you can see it in person. You see this very tall front line, and you know, they've done just that. You've got Cressy, you've got Sherman with blocks, and then you know, this digging is really good. If it even gets past that front line, you've got people there to dig it out, leading with Elena Scott. And you know, that translates to that hitting percentage. That's all you really need to see to make sense of what has gone wrong for the Irish tonight and what's gone so right for Louisville.
Oh, it showed their dominance. It's a joust won by Schrader, but a great job by Looper on the court to keep it alive. And Schrader finishes off a point she worked so hard to get.
Yeah, taking a look at this one, the points Notre Dame has scored, they've been scrappy this set. And Schrader, you can always count on to find a way, especially from those sides.
Someone you can always find a way will find an opening is Looper. What a great day she's put together. 11 kills so far. That's one of the best days you've seen on the attack, up at the net.
Yeah, added to that watch list for the AFCA Player of the Year. And we've seen front and center why that is. She's a little present on the block, but really it's just the velocity we see off her hand on the attack.
Bowl gets it across. They'll set cross side to Bankston. Goes out of bounds and gives Notre Dame a point. And this is a spot Notre Dame was against Pitt. Some two lackluster performances in set 1 and set 2, but then it was set 3 that Notre Dame was able to pull themselves together to pick up the first win of an ACC opposing team at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse against Pitt in a third set to force a fourth set that Pitt would come out and really take command of. But the Irish aren't a team that's going to go lying down. It's going to be the question of, can they get out of their own way to figure it out? Right there, service error doesn't help you at all.
Yeah, well, if you're sitting down 2 sets if you're Notre Dame, and thinking about what positives you can draw if you're, can have a competitive third set, kind of, leave the game if you don't win it, with some confidence that you can play with the best, and they did that versus Pitt. And staying in it a little bit here in set number 3.
Irish building on some momentum. DeBeer off the block, and quickly Louisville answers the point from the Irish.
Yeah, DeBeer, her 5th kill, or 6th kill rather, tonight. Kind of that one person at the top that was the center of attention coming in, but really you can't take your eyes off of her, and tonight we've actually seen more of Looper.
Bjork has it go long. And Louisville, like building with momentum. Strand now to serve. Sophomore from Villa Hills, Kentucky. And a service ace for her. The Irish just couldn't track it down in time. Strand serves again. Trump. And Bjork sneaks one in the back corner.
Wisconsin All-State first team, her senior year, Anna Bjork. And already a key contributor here as a freshman in South Bend.
Cressy off the block, picks up the kill. Strand's done a great job serving. With now Glock coming in off the points from Notre Dame. Glock along with Cabello, part of the 6-2. Benny Busboom, Kelly runs for Louisville, and it's a service ace for Glock, who comes in. Man, oh man, it has been a day for this Louisville Cardinals offense.
Yeah, Glock, one of those 2 main setters for the Cardinals. And really, we've seen it on the serve, we've seen it on the block, and really on the attack for the Cardinals.
An unforced error from Notre Dame gives Salima Rockwell her final timeout of this set, with Louisville standing 10 points away from closing out a sweep. And Fighting Irish just trying to build momentum and keep themselves alive. And for Louisville, they feel confident for themselves, but for Notre Dame, they understand there's a little bit of a breath coming with the opponents they have to face. They have Syracuse and BC next weekend as they go on the road before they come home to take on UNC and Duke.
Yeah, that's right. Boston College and Syracuse, Friday, Sunday road set coming up. They'll come back home to a big challenge in UNC. But yeah, maybe hoping they can put together some good in-system points here, something to build off of ahead of the road trip. But they know that they were down tonight with Gardy, and something to look ahead to, maybe some slightly less challenging teams in a two-game road set.
And for Louisville, they've got a heavy dose on the back half as well, as they'll take on Duke, UNC, then they're at Virginia, some of the top teams in the conference, but two final games not on there. It is at Pitt as well as Stanford later on down the road for some big matchups down that could really be a key decider in that top five, deciding for the NCAA selection committee whether Louisville will be good enough to stay at a 4 seed to host all the way through the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we talked about that strength of schedule for Louisville. Pretty similar look to Notre Dame's schedule in terms of the next 4, but yes, it gets a lot challenging ahead of ACC tournament play, and certainly will be a test looking forward. And they're building off of a few wins here.
Miscommunication that goes way out of play. And the Cardinals with Glock at the service line remain firmly in control. Avery Ross came on to the court for the first time. Coach Rockwell just trying to find pieces together. One piece that she knows she has is Anna Bjork, who finds a back corner, pick up a necessary kill. Benitez. Robbins off the block. Picks up another point, now a 10-point lead for the Cardinals over the Fighting Irish. For Notre Dame, we told you at the beginning of the broadcast, Fighting Irish without their best player over the last 7 games, Morgan Gardy, who's unavailable today, and trying to find replacements. We saw Radif come in. We see Bull step on now. You saw Ross come on to the court, really trying to plug a massive hole in this lineup that Rockwell is doing here in their first game without her.
Yeah, I think in set 1 we saw them try to put the pieces together. We've seen a little more from Schrader, especially some floaters from the sides. The middle was taken away pretty quickly. And even though Louisville hasn't been huge in the blocking category, it's almost like that number doesn't really represent the challenge that they've posed from the middle, just taking away so many different attack opportunities.
Cressy is able to capitalize on an opportunity there. Now Scott. Palazzolo goes cross court, but too far. The Cardinals with their graduate student libero in Scott serving. Jacked it at the net, and no one could dig it out for the Irish.
So many pieces for this Louisville team. Looper, Scott, and DeBeer, all 2023 first team, all ACC. And you've seen just how diverse that skill set is for Louisville. They have the attack, they have the block, they're taking away the middle. And so much for a team to take on, especially when they're a little short-handed here tonight.
Well, Cardinals has shown everything that they do so well, especially on the defensive side of the net, through their blocks and through their opponent hitting percentage. As Robin gets a big kill. Everything that makes up the Louisville Cardinal team, they are doing effectively today and staying true to their colors.
Yeah, that's right. They've kept the errors a lot lower than Notre Dame has, 20-11 in that category. Notre Dame with 20. The service errors have been pretty minimal. So they certainly haven't gotten in their way here in South Bend.
Mallory Bowl with a big kill. Finds an opening. They set to the middle. A freshman from Saline, Michigan, has Sydney Palazzolo with an ace. The Irish picking up some steam.
Yeah, Palazzolo, it would be nice if the Irish could see her get on a bit of a service run here, but that quickly unravels with an error.
And for this Notre Dame Fighting Irish team, siding out just 40% of the time in comparison to Louisville Cardinals, 75% on the side out. No rally has been able to be sustained. Bowl. Let one go by her attempted block.
Really nice attack there from Looper, taking a look at it now. And that's what we've seen so much of. We knew De Beer would be strong on the attack, but really Looper's been the bigger story tonight. And those precision attacks right at the lines, going cross court and with the line shots. She's been fantastic.
What a block there at the net. Bankston sets one down. A business major, and now match point for the Cardinals. Bull works through. Irish still have life here. And now Hattie Monson, the libero for Notre Dame. Gets it across, Looper receives. Palazzolo gets it across somehow. And off the deflection, the Cardinals take care of business.